Going on, my people? How we doing? How we doing? As usual, start off the show. We got to make sure we got the shot right. I'm glad to be back with you. Make sure we got this shot right, and everything is. Hold on, hold on. Uh, I'm here. Okay, we're good. We're good there. Very good. Very good. Bump this up. Bump it up again. Decent. I need y'all to see Jimmy Buffs, baby. Jimmy Buffs. Can you see this? The pride of New Jersey. I'm proud. You're going to be seeing more Jersey. Had the chance to take a trip down to the Garden State, not this weekend, but the weekend prior. You're going to hear about that as we do at this particular point in time. I got to go. We got to go across. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Yes, yes. Monday Night Football is closing up. We're going to talk about that. Jared Goff out there balling. Very helpful for my. Okay, very good, very good. We over here. Let's come here. Okay, the Facebook is Facebook. Good. Very good, very good. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Twitter is rocking with me. Excellent, excellent. Let's keep it moving and grooving. These technical difficulties. We gotta get our arms around. Okay, we gotta get our arms around. Go to the channel. Okay, very good. We live on the YouTube. Excellent, excellent. We go through this every episode. We go through this every episode. Okay. Can we just, I don't know what. No thanks. Go back. Who knows what Twitch is doing? I don't know what Twitch is doing right now. This is ridiculous. Thanks. Ridiculous. What's ridiculous is we wasted almost 2 minutes and 30 seconds with the technical difficulties. But we back, baby. What's going on? I am your host, the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King, and SandCity Sports is back again to bring you on the sports and current events news stories that you need to know. It's been a little minute since I've been with you, but nothing is stopping this train. Nothing is going to stop the SandCity Sports train by hook or by crook. We are going to be at you. We have the Monday Night Football game going on right now, so we're going to start right there. And Jared Goff saved me a matchup. Yes, he did. And how he balled out tonight. I had an inkling. Okay. So we're seeing the Detroit Lions handling business, a good matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, a Seahawks team that's battle tested, that's going to be in the mix. They got a very tough win against the New England Patriots and Gerard Mayo. Frankly, looking back now, we needed that win. All right, so the Seahawks are giving them a go for their money, but the Detroit Lions are showing that they are going to be in the conversation in the NFC, handling business tonight. Your boy Jared Goff went off, which in and of itself is a good storyline because I root for the Detroit Lions. I love the dude. Dan Campbell, their coach, that's my guy. We're going to talk a little bit about coaching, but his leadership, his ability to connect and get through the guys and have them playing at their best, all about that. But specific to me, Jared Goff saved me a matchup. I had Justin Herbert has been my quarterback in fantasy. He had to go to the bench. Justin Herbert had to go to the bench, folks, based on what's going on. The Chargers are playing good ball. Chargers had a very good matchup against Kansas City. Didn't come out with the W, but showed well in a nip and tuck divisional game. We're going to be seeing more of that. But old Jimmy Harbaugh out there in Los Angeles, okay, he's Justin Herbert is a different animal specifically for the fantasy purposes. So as successful as the Chargers are going to be, like what's going on out there, Herbert can't be my quarterback no more. I had to switch him. I had to switch him. They're switching on him and go to Jared Goff, and he don't want me a lineup. Also have Montgomery on my football fantasy team. Okay, tried and true handling business, and had Megatron as well. So they went ahead and balled out. I haven't checked the specifics. We actually, I got to send a link. I got to send this link to the people in the fantasy. Some of the guys might still be up. So we're going to send them the link in case they want to, you know what I mean? Because we're good. What in the? We're good. Well, you know what I mean? Okay, I brought the YouTube. I brought the YouTube over, and the YouTube is going on. We don't have, okay, but let me just, let me just copy that link because I got to send it to the boys in the fantasy just in case anybody wants to jump on. It's been 5 minutes. I've been bouncing, but folks, I appreciate you hanging with your boy. So let me just go ahead and drop this over to the in case anybody's up that wants to link on the fantasy because I did secure a dub. On this week's fantasy. Okay. All right, folks. Let's take off. Let's get off to the races. All right, specific to Monday Night Football, Detroit Lions handling business. Good matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. We've discussed that. Miami, welcome to Miami. Okay, we getting jiggy with it. Mike McDaniels. You see, I got to watch like you, Mike. Okay, I respect Miami, Mike. I like what he's brought to the table. It was a tough situation, them going from Flores to Miami. Mike, he's the right man for the job, has them moving in the right direction. You can't predict these injuries. Saw Tua on the sidelines. Health is the wealth. That's the number one thing important for you. Tua, they bring Huntley, Baltimore backup. He's from Florida, not allegedly. He's from Florida, to try to, but just watching the game, you could just tell that you can see the rumblings. You can see the foundation is shaking. The body language was not good. Body language wasn't good. And we saw that Tua. We saw that Tyreek Hill broke open. All right. Miami, they want to take those shots down the field. They want to use Tyreek Hill to stretch the field, and they're going to be aggressive. He broke open. Huntley overthrew him. That would have changed the complexion of the game. Okay. They're trying to figure it out on the fly, but the bottom line is this. Doggone it, Miami, why didn't you have a backup in place? Why didn't you have a backup in place to start with? You gave Tua the bag. I don't want to hear any excuses that we couldn't afford a backup. Okay? You should have had a backup in place. All right, I see my folks on the fantasy. They're doing what they're doing. Okay, fantasy is doing what they're doing. Maybe jump on. I got it. Okay. Right? I don't understand this. How can the Indianapolis Colts understand that when we have a quarterback who, you know what I mean, had Gardner Minshew as their backup last year, Richardson, young, developing, he's showing signs. Okay, but he goes down, Gardner steps in, huge Gardner Minshew fan. They don't miss a beat. I don't understand how these teams with injury-prone quarterbacks do not have backups in place ready to go. The Browns, Cleveland, they're going through it. They're missing Alex Van Pelt, our offensive coordinator here in the Commonwealth for the Patriots. Deshaun Watson's not ready for prime time. Still not ready for prime time in the 2024 season. Joe Flacco's there, ready to go, made the playoffs, made some noise. Mike McDaniels, Miami Dolphins. How do you not have a serviceable backup? Whoever. You got all these, backups, Sam Darnold, okay, opportunity presented itself. Minnesota's doing what they need to do. Baker Mayfield used to be a backup, balling in Tampa Bay. Already expressed, Gardner Minshew's been a dude from day one, holding the line for the LA Raiders. Doggone it, your man Kyle Shanahan had 3 quarterbacks last year. Had Purdy, had Darnold, had Lance. How do these offensive gurus not have that backup? I said backup a number of times. That's my issue with Miami. And there is a hot seat that Mike McDaniels is sitting on. Because with all the pieces in place last year, they couldn't get over the hump in high leverage situations. Now this year, trying to figure it out, so on and forth. Again, Tua, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck. How far is Hawaii? Right, we're going to do a little geography. It's time for some geography. And people, you know what I mean? We got any people? Okay, I appreciate I appreciate my people in the YouTube space. We getting after it. We doing what we doing. We going across on the social. You know what I mean? We here right now. A lot to get into. I'm starting with football, but the Knicks fandom, I made it clear. We Jimmy Buffs. We Jimmy Buffs, folks. I made that trip to the jar. We Jimmy Buffs, folks. Shout out to the Garden State. We're going to talk more about that. I made a mistake and tried to take the George Washington Bridge back to the peninsula. I got stuck in a whole bunch of traffic. I should have took the TZ Bridge back. I should have took the TZ Bridge. We don't acknowledge the Mario Cuomo. For one people in the tri-state, you know what I'm talking about. That's the Tap and Z Bridge. We don't acknowledge this Mario Cuomo foolishness. But it was good to get back to the Garden State. Had to visit family. Okay, had to visit my grandfather, 98 years young. Fortunate, so fortunate to still have him with us. World War II veteran, still a full head of hair. Okay, he's holding on. He's battling. He's fighting a good fight. Got back to Jersey 2 weeks ago. It was a beautiful thing. And I got my Jimmy Buffs on. So we're going to talk about my New York Knicks. We are going to get there. A lot to say about that. Okay, but specific to the NFL, we have some NFL storylines we need to speak to. With the Miami, okay, and I'm going to go down my scores. That's my major issue. I don't care. No, I do care. What I was going to say about Tua. Hawaii, right? That's 3,000 miles from Los Angeles to get to Hawaii or thereabouts. Approximately 3,000 miles. Okay, a little geography. It's in the middle of the doggone ocean. I'm in the Cape Cod Kid, right? Cape and Islands. Okay, we got Nantucket, we got Martha's Vineyard. They're right there. They're just a stone throw away. Hawaii, middle of the doggone ocean. You take Los Angeles, you go thousands of miles to Hawaii. You go from Hawaii, thousands of miles to Japan. It's basically directly in the middle. Little geography lesson. Okay, but the point of fact why I bring that up, this Tua Tagovailoa, what it took for him to get to this level, to get to Alabama, okay, coming from Hawaii. You understand? This man is tried and true. He's about that life. He deserves every bit of success that he's getting. Talked about Justin Herbert, you know, those guys in the draft, one before the other, whatever. All that being said, he's in the same situation as Andrew Luck, and we all know it. That warrior that he has in him. Shout out to 30 for 30 Hawaiian about the late great Eddie I. Cal. See it if you haven't seen it. Hawaiian 30 for 30. Check it out. Tua has that warrior in him, no doubt. In the most violent game that exists, maybe the most violent game. That rugby is wild. Rugby is wild, and for people, they have tackle football. There's adult tackle football leagues out there. You know what I'm talking about, folks. You've seen some of the clips, bananas. But you see what I'm talking about. In this most violent of games, Tua, he's not going to be healthy. And Miami gave him a bag. He deserved a bag. NFL worked that out, you know, so that he gets all his money. And Miami is not, you know, so that he's not holding on too long just because of the contract and stuff like that. Tua, you don't, you know, unless there is, and you don't want to say never, okay? Tua, dog on it. It's two-hand, you know, but then, right? We say just slide to it. When he was trying to slide when he got bopped. He was trying to slide when he got bopped. But it's not just the sliding, and I'm not a football person. I'm not a gladiator. But football, you know, so correct me if I'm wrong on this. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. Before we move on, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about tonight. You know, a lot of things going on in the world. We lost some greats. You know, my Knicks are just balling. The NBA season is getting ready to go. We're coming in. We're 38 minutes and 42 seconds away from October. There's a lot to talk about. And it's a Monday, so I know people got to go to sleep. I got to go to sleep, but we doing this, baby. This is the passion project. We doing this. There's no two ways about it. There's no two ways about it. So we the thing that football people will tell you, and what's true with Tua, it's not just that you slide and you go down and you try to avoid the hits. It's that he can't play instinctively. You know what I mean? Russell, when you're trying not to get hit, that, you know what I mean? You're anticipating and you lose that split second that you absolutely need in football. Right? That's the situation with Tua. You know, it's you have to be a full gladiator out there. And yes, you got to slide and do all the health stuff. But when you're anticipating and you're that split second when you're I don't want to get hit. You can't play like that. That puts you even further behind the 8 ball. I'm disappointed in Miami, just like I was disappointed in the Jets last year for not having a backup plan in place. The teams that prepared, i.e. San Francisco with their 3 quarterbacks, i.e. Indianapolis with Gardner. We talked about, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous to me that teams don't, and that's my issue. And so Miami, this AFC is a monster. Okay? It's an absolute monster. And a lot of good teams are going to be on the outside looking in, and Miami may very well be one. All right, let's keep it moving and grooving, folks. The Baltimore Ravens, they serve notice. Last night's Sunday night football game, they served notice. Resounding win, and Buffalo had been rolling, and then they got rolled. That was a big time win on a big time stage. I had Buffalo. I ain't gonna lie to you. Based on how they was playing, I had Buffalo. Justin Tucker was my kicker. I had the kicker from the 49ers. He should have went with him. Okay, because the Ravens, they weren't kicking no field goals. They were scoring. And again, about adaptability, elasticity, being willing to do what's in the greater interest of the greater good. Shout out to your boy Lamar Jackson. Okay, because they've revamped their offense, incorporating Derrick Henry. And right, the first game, how do you use Henry? How do we not use Henry? It starts, but then we go to this, then we go to that. I give everybody in the organization, John Harbaugh, the offensive coordinator, the general manager, Lamar Jackson, huge, Derrick Henry, huge, in terms of, okay, Lamar wants to be in that shotgun, wants to spread it out and just pick you apart. That's what he would prefer. But their personnel says we need you under center. We need Derrick Henry and just, that single back, that I formation. We need Derrick Henry to be that's how Derrick Henry gets down. None of this shotgun, you know what I mean? Give it to him, RPO. No. We would do Derrick Henry. He on that Marcus Dupree. Shout out to the greatest that never was. 30 for 30. Check it out if you haven't seen it. He on that Marcus Dupree. When Marcus Dupree went to Oklahoma, we just need to line up and give him the ball and let him do what he do. And we saw the results. Longest touchdown run of all time for a Baltimore Raven. Man just got to town. They out there knocking the snot out of people. Okay, we're going to establish that run first, and then we're going to play off of that. And I credit the entire organization, Lamar Jackson, for them. In the beginning, we're not sure. How do we do? But, and it's not to say Lamar's not going to be able to do Lamar things, and they're not going to be able to open it up and do what they do. Okay, but it can't be a my turn, your turn type of situation. We gotta, we have to just get that flow, that momentum, right? The Miami Heatles back in the day. First year was my turn, your turn. Let's figure it out. They got rolled by the Dallas Mavericks in the finals. They could have won that series. I believe they were up 2-0, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think they were up 2-0 in that series. Or it might have been 1-0 and they let the second game slip away. But anyway, they lost that series going away in 6 games. Embarrassing. The Heatles. Not 1, not 2, not 4, not 5. Embarrassing. Came back the next year. Spoelstra said, okay, forget this. It's LeBron's show. LeBron is the captain boss. D-Wade, you're going to have to play off of him, and Bosh, you're going to play off of him. That's how we're attacking teams. No, not this my turn. Let's figure it out and spread it. No. We coming at you a certain type of a way. And LeBron James is going to be the head of this ship. The Viking ship, you know what I mean? How they had the, you know what I mean? That Viking ship going out, how they had the mast, the animal, whatever, you know what I mean? That's how we're going to do things. And with the Ravens, it's Henry is going to be the straw that stirs the drink, and everything is flowing through that. Respect. Henry's out there running wild. Lamar's out there running wild. They have plenty of receivers. They have a defense. They manhandled the Buffalo Bills, who have been manhandling other teams. It's a big win. That's a big win. Okay. Further along in the world, I didn't let me just go ahead and check my scores right quick before we move over to doing what we need to do. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thursday night football, Dallas over the Giants. Battle between Denver and the Jets. A little bit of drama in the Jets land. Tampa Bay continuing to roll. Houston, I got Diggs and Nico on my fantasy team doing what they do. Washington rolling. Patriots getting clobbered. Yeah. Yeah. It's we getting into the thick of things, the nitty gritty. Okay, coming back to the Commonwealth here. I've said it again and again and again. I ain't jumping off the Gerard Mayo train. They taking their lumps. They're gonna take their lumps. Okay. Play against the NFC champions on the road. Let me just make sure that game. Okay. Let me just get. I should. Yes, indeedy. It was a busy Sunday. Wasn't able to watch every game start to finish. Okay, but still, right? Um, Specific to the Patriots, right? Gerard Mayo, we're not losing. We're learning how to win. Okay, taking the lumps. All right, issues at quarterback, this, that, and the third. All right, I'm not the alarmism. No, we're not doing that. And let's go ahead and take a specific look. Take a specific look and see. Patriots taking some lumps, and the beat goes on and on. Dolphins, Texans, Jaguars. All right, first sign of relief is the Jet, and then they got the Jets. The schedule's just crazy. Schedule's just crazy. They're getting the pass with the Dolphins because Tua's not there. Texans, they're in the mix to compete. You already know what time it is. Jags, they got to get Trevor Lawrence right, but that's possible. It's going to be a tough road to hoe for the Patriots, but they're going to battle. Gerard Mayo's going to have this team, you know what I mean, ready to go, not backing down. And this is going to be a successful season from the standpoint of rebuilding, establishing the culture, getting reps, which, right, Drake May, he needs reps. All right. Jaden Daniels is lighting things on. He's lighting things up. Remember talking with a colleague, and I was not high on Jaden Daniels. It was Caleb and Drake as they came through the ranks. That was the 1-2 connection. We got one. I appreciate. Yes. Let me see. Hold on. No. Okay. How do I see? I gotta go. In case anybody commented. No comments, but we got some people that's rocking with me. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the people that's rocking with me. A couple people in the Twitter space. I appreciate y'all that's rocking with me. Again, it's been a long time. We weren't gonna leave you. Okay? Shouldn't have left you. Without that dope beat to step two. Step two. We here. We in the mix. Okay? Back to the Pats. Right? Mayo is going to rebuild, establish, and get us going. Speaking of my man Drake. Not Drizzy and the Kendrick Lamar. I'm talking about Drake May. Jaden Daniels has come up and stolen the thunder from Drake, from Kayla, from everybody. Frankly, Washington bringing in, right? And this is crazy. I'm having my senior moments. Okay? I'm having my senior moments. Washington. Okay. I get Dan Campbell and Dan Quinn confused. That's my bad. Apologize in advance. Okay? But Quinn done come up in there and got the woo, saw that coming out party for Jaden Daniels. Okay? And their win against the Jaguars. Mop them boys up. No. Check that. Not the Jaguars. The Bengals. Let me get mine. Okay? Jaden Daniels out there outshining Joe Burrow. Okay? Big time. So that is a storyline I'm loving. Team, okay? NFC East, Eagles struggling, getting manhandled by the Bucks. You know what I mean? So the command, it's supposed to be the Cowboys to lose. Cowboys don't know what they're doing. So we got to win against the Giants, but who knows what kind of shape they're in. But again, back to the Patriots. Drake May. Uh, I feel like he's looking around and saying, man, and even though it's been clear that he's not ready from day one. It's going to take time. Drake May is on that apprenticeship program, but I feel all these, Caleb is feeling some heat. Drake's feeling some heat. Bo Nick's out there in Denver doing what he's doing, but Jaden Daniels, he's looking good. He's looking good. I love to see it. But again, back to the Patriots. As I said, not I'm hook, line, and sinker supporting Mayo, and this is going to be a grimy, it's going to be a gritty, a battling team that's going to be in the mix all season. Period. End of story. That's how it's going to factor in. Let me just go back as we wrap up in terms of the NFL. Let me get my scores and see if there's anything I want to dig deep into. Not going to pile on Carolina. The Jets are who we thought they were, right? Aaron Rodgers brings the drama. I think. Hold on. Let's glass back into my concluding points. We're going to talk about the Jets. We're going to show respect to the Vikings. Okay. Robert Saleh is a good coach. He is. Period. All right. And right, same thing as we discussed. Lose your quarterback 4 snaps into a season, so everything, and he's already getting up there to start with, and he's always been mercurial to say the least. Robert Saleh is a good coach. Okay, but you just have to deal. You have to, Miami Mike is playing the cards he was dealt. Robert Saleh has to play the cards he's been dealt. Right, Aaron Rodgers has not a little bit. Aaron Rodgers can be a contrarian without a cause. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. That's just how he gets down. Says he wouldn't return to Green Bay, unless it was for a memorial service. Ended up coming back to Green Bay. Having, MVP high, balling out. Aaron Rodgers needs the antagonisms, real or imagined. He just needs them. How he pushed Robert Saleh away, bananas. Okay? As I said it, I'm going to say it again. Okay? Aaron Rodgers comp in the NBA, you know where I'm going with this. It's Kyrie Irving. He has not been, let's make it clear, anywhere near as inconsistent as Kyrie. And we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, at which point we're going to switch gears to the NBA. So we got about 2 more minutes, and then you know what time it is in terms of my Knicks. We're switching gears to the NBA. A lot to get to tonight, folks. We lost some greats, a lot to get to, but the Knicks are coming up at the 30-minute mark, period, end story. So Salah, it's you can't, like Rodgers. If things are too good, if things are going good, they're not good enough. If things are going bad, everybody's to blame but him. And he's just a different, distant type of a dude. And so could have squeaked out the win against a good Denver Broncos. Good, excuse me, I overstated that. An improving Denver Broncos team. They lost the game. Didn't really score too many points. Denver's known for their defense. It's, even though Denver's known the Jets, you should, it's a tough loss. It's a tough loss. And again, back to that point about culture and why I am, just a firm believer in Mayo and establishing this culture. Again, back to the Jets. When you have Aaron Rodgers, it's never going to be smooth sailing. And any disruption, anything is going to be rocky. So Jets, I still have them coming from being born in New Jersey, growing up Rockland County, root for the Jets, right? I was a Mets Jets guy rather than a Yankees Giants guy. That's just what it was. I'd like this team to break through and make it into the postseason. Period. End of story. Okay, gonna be challenging, but still have the Jets breaking through and making it into the postseason. Okay, and so that's going to conclude in the NFL. Um, Again, Monday Night Football tonight, Sunday Night Football last night. 4 games in, to the journey, essentially a quarter into the journey, and we things start to, you start to get a picture. Obviously, it's a long journey, so things are gonna shift and move and groove. But hey, we've seen some performances. Shout out to Jared Goff tonight. Shout out to the Ravens last night. Okay, and all the other peak performers. So, bombshell on Friday. Should have, would have, could have, an emergency pod. Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks. Y'all know what time it is when it comes to the Knicks. That's my team. Tom Thibodeau's my coach. You know what time it is. And it's a perfect storm. Folks, and let me just go ahead around the world. Anybody doing what they need to do, check in, don't check in it. You know what I mean? Well, we'll check in. I don't want to discourage anybody. Karl Anthony Towns is the perfect storm. Second, we're going to do about an hour tonight. Maybe a little bit more. But we're going to hit the stride now. For all, again, Tibbs, the Knicks, this is, it couldn't have been scripted any better as far as I'm concerned. 2 players that the Knicks needed to get, they've acquired. Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns. Let's go. We want to talk about overpaying. We want to talk about underpaying. The Knicks got the players they needed. It hurts me that we lose DiVincenzo. That hurts. Before I get to Karl Anthony Towns, DiVincenzo was the Iguodala of this team. Yes, I said it. There's still depth that they have in terms of players that they've acquired. Landry Shamet, Morris, apparently Morris, they might have waived him, what's going on with that, we'll see. They got Precious, they got McBride, they got Kolek, they got Jericho, and Thibodeau builds up his guys. Thibodeau's going to develop, so they're going to have a bench. Those guys are going to get rest. The OGs, the Karl Townses, the Jalen Brunsons, they're going to get rest during the year. The bench mob will be ready to fill those minutes and play the right way to grind out victories for the Knicks. But what I just keep coming back to, talent-wise. Now, pound for pound, are the Knicks as talented, honestly, as the Celtics? No. Let's keep it a buck. Pound for pound, the Celtics are more talented. But the Knicks can match up with the Celtics. The Celtics have the better roster. Yes. Specifically, the better starting 5. They do. Period. When you're talking about a Drew Holiday, when you're talking about a Derek White, when you're talking about a Jason Tatum, when you're talking about a Jaylen Brown, when you're talking about Chris P. Their starting 5 there, all right? Celtics starting 5 is better than the Knicks starting 5, but the Knicks starting 5 is close. Celtics are better, period, end of story. But when you talk about Jalen Brunson, when you go to Mikal Bridges, when you go to the last OG, when you go to Karl Anthony Towns, when you go to Mitchell Robinson, that across the board. Now, okay, so maybe you want to put the cat at the 5, all right, and put a shooter in there somewhere, or stretch whoever, fine. Throw Josh Hart. Josh Hart's not much of a shooter. You know what I mean. I'm pissed about losing Dante. I would have rather it been McBride than DiVincenzo. Talk about DiVincenzo, kind of, not really being thrilled with coming off the bench. Baloney. DiVincenzo, you're coming off the bench. I don't buy that reporting at all, not one bit. He's from the Villanova tradition. He came off the bench when Villanova won the, when he ran wild with the, I believe he was coming off the bench when he had his ensemble NCAA championship appearance. NCAA title. So it's not, he was going to get less minutes and he wasn't. I don't buy that reporting. If you have to be, if DiVincenzo would have been no problem being Ginobili. And here is the thing, right? It would have ended up matched because OG Anunoby is not playing more than 65 games. So what are we even talking about here? Yes, or you move. Let's say you got Cat at the 5. So who's going to be my 4 now? You got Cat at the 5. Bridges goes to the 3. Who's my 4? You got to bring in, and that's why I think it's better to have Cat at the 4 because he can stretch the floor from the 4. But then it does get kind of it does. Cat's gonna play 5 and 4. He's gonna play both. All right, but you can start him at the 4. Just to what I mean. The spacing is a little bit, because you're essentially going with the Twin Towers looks, which does mess up the spacing, but it didn't prevent the Timberwolves from smacking the Denver Nuggets silly. So you can go with the Twin Towers. It pisses. That's too much. Let me just bring myself in. I would have rather given up a first round pick than give up DiVincenzo. Honestly, I don't care. That is the one thing where it's not just. I wish just it wouldn't. You could have given them Landry Shamet, who's going to be big for the Knicks, as far as I'm concerned. A bucket getter, playing for Tibbs. Those nights when guys are out, the nights that when DiVincenzo balled last year because guys were out and he got more usage, that's what's going to be Landry Shamet's role. Tyler Kolek, he's going to be there in the mix. He's only a rookie. He's just a rookie. So, we can't necessarily expect so much from a rookie on a championship contending team, but he's an option. Run the show, get the ball distributed to the guys that are going to have huge scoring nights. I said it, huge, not big, huge. As people are rested and they have higher usage and they're just battling and grinding out victories. Mikal Bridges is going to play every single game, going to play 35 minutes a game at least. Get with the program. He shows up to work every single day. Get with the program. This load management foolishness. Check out your boy Allen Iverson. Only the strong survive. Allen Iverson averaged over 41 minutes a game for well over half his career. Into his time in Denver. I'm a basketball player. I play basketball. I don't need to sit. Ball players, men's leaguers, AAU folks, you know what I'm talking about. 7-man deep. That's we only need 7. Max on a team. Only 7. That's it. You know what I mean? Everybody out here, we get a sub here, sub there, but we play the whole game. We don't need to come out. So that's going to be Bridges pedigree, Josh Hart, to a lesser, but you know what I mean? Those guys going to be out there every single night. Everybody else, you're going to get your rest when it's time to rest so that you're ready for the playoffs. I'm angry about DiVincenzo. All right? I'm glad we got Cat, but, we need, right? I don't, DiVincenzo, it's not just that he could produce, but he was just for the culture. He was ingrained in the culture. It brought the guys together even more. That's what bothers me about this move. Randall, his time, he'd run his course. And I just think that Cat's going to come in. He's already proven he's willing to be a team player in terms of how he's melded and combined with Anthony Edwards, even though he was the number 1 pick long before Anthony Edwards was the number 1 pick. Proven he's a team player in terms of how he was willing to grind and work together with Gobert. He's proven it, folks. But he's from Jersey. To win for the Knicks, to win in the tri-state area. He has the Kentucky connection, Worldwide West, Leon Rose in the front office. He's with his people back home, putting on for his city. Right? It works. We needed to keep DiVincenzo. That's the thing that just bothers me. Right? It's not prohibitive. That doesn't, tank the move and whatever. But I'm just saying, again, as I look to this bench mob, we got some mercenaries out there. We don't have folks that's ingrained in the system. So it's going to take time. Will Thibodeau do it? Yes. But it would have been, again, McBride, Deuce, I like him, but I don't like, if it was then McBride, you got to go. And we keep it Ragu. You know what I mean? I think Dante DiVincenzo is better right now in his career. McBride will get there, but he's just better. But also he's connected with the Nova. You know what I mean? The Nova Knicks. That's huge. So I want to get DiVincenzo back at the trade deadline. I don't care. I want him to come back home. We might not get him back this year. Hopefully next year. He returns to the camp. But that aside, under Tibbs' leadership, team is loaded. And when I say loaded, right, it's not right. You're gonna see these guys are gonna battle and they're gonna grind together. They're gonna grind together. And get these victories and do it for the Garden and end this 50-year drought. It's a beautiful thing, folks. It's a beautiful thing. So, right? Nips for nips. Knicks for the chips. That doesn't even make any sense. I don't know. It's getting late. I would say I'm tired, but no, that's ridiculous. All right, so let's and so yes, just credit. The Celtics have built a and this is again what I said. And what's wild, the Knicks have a 4-year window, and the Celtics, right? The championship windows for these two organizations are identical. You know, it's almost like a San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys battle in the in the 90s, right? When they would always battle in the NFC Championship game, and the winner of that would win the Super Bowl. That's where I believe the Knicks and the Celtics are. And you know, you want each one to be a dynasty, the Celtics to have win multiple championships and continue to raise these banners, but and then the Knicks to get the first banner since the 70s, 50 years. You know, you want the same thing for both of them. And I just feel like in the next 4 years, both those teams are going to win championships. All right, and multiple championships. NBA once again goes through Boston and New York, like back in the 70s, early 70s, Knicks, mid 70s, Celtics. But they dominated the first half of the 70s. And I believe that we will win. I believe we're back there. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, folks. Okay, so we talked football. We got into basketball. Shout out to, and we'll discuss this. Let me just go ahead and check. A couple people over here, a couple people over there. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, review, all of that good stuff. You know what time it is, folks. Much obliged. We're going to do about 15, 16, 17 more minutes. Hopefully get it to the hour mark. It's a beautiful thing. We got Jimmy Buffs in the building. Jimmy Buffs is in the building. We coming to you live right after this Monday Night Football. It's a Monday. It's a work day. It is what it is. Okay, the Passion Project is going on, and then afterwards we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and it's a beautiful thing. You have to make time for your passion, folks. You have to do it. That's the drug. You gotta to do those positive things that you are, that are egalitarian. Hopefully this is egalitarian. You got to do it. And that's the substance and the source of me coming in to do this episode, even though we're into the school year proper. Times of trying, it is what it is. The Passion Project must remain. So it's a beautiful thing to be with you. And I think that's, in terms of the slice of life stuff, what I would, being a little bit honest or however you want to put it, you know what I mean? That's why it's a beautiful thing. Even though a little bit of fatigue, duly noted, we're gonna get the rest. We're gonna get the shut eye, while we take care of all the editing and effect stuff as well. Not all of it, but some of it. But I'm just thrilled to be back in the mix in terms of the Passion Project, and just to right. We got to grind, but we also got to shine. Shout out to, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Now, folks, after that, or, little nuggets of maybe of wisdom, maybe of rambling, who knows what it is. Yeah, today's a sad day in the world of sports. It is. Sad day in the world of sports. We lost two Hall of Fame athletes in basketball and baseball. Dikembe Mutombo passing away at the age of 58 due to complications from brain cancer. Shocking. For me, I went back, just growing up with Mutombo. Man does not fly in the house of Mutombo. Commercial was bananas, right? The old late 90s Allen Iverson, when remember who was, crossing over on the glass, right? You know what I mean? And I believe that he is me. You got to see, that's how I dream to be. Boom, 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 boom. The dream I move. Greatest commercials of all time. Early 90s. The dream I groove. Like Mike. If I could be like Mike, I want to be one. Man does not fly in the house of Mutombo. Great commercial. So this, you know what I mean? Sometimes you lose greats And that's not an understatement, before their time, right? Dikembe Mutombo, he's of the same pedigree as Roberto Clemente. Okay? The first global ambassador of the NBA. This globalization, this global vision of the late great David Stern passed on to Adam Silver to get the NBA to where it was when it used to be on tape delay in the 80s, when it used to be a league that was too black, that was too violent, that was too drug infested, that used to be a league that was not corporate, that was just always going to be on the fringes, right? The 80s NBA to this global juggernaut, this cultural force in both hemispheres, and for all seasons. Okay? Speaking to vast swaths of humanity. All right? And uniting people through appreciation of and a passion for sports. Right? You don't get from the alpha to the present without Dikembe Mutombo. Right? We see South Sudanese having an Olympic team, what that meant, the dust that they kicked up, growing the program going forward. Dikembe Mutombo is the father of these type of evidences of expanding the game. All right? Going back to Africa and doing charitable works, building up basketball as a recreation activity, as a connection for your academic journey, to move forward in college, so on and forth. Just his humanitarian work, almost dwarfed what he did on the court. And again, I liked Theo. Excuse me, I'm having trouble pronouncing my word. I like Theo Ratliff in 2001 with my 76ers. They traded him for Mutombo. I didn't love it at the time, right? You kind of want to win with who you got. But Mutombo and AI got the Sixers broke through to the NBA Finals where they met up against Shaquille O'Neal. That's why they brought in Mutombo to slow down Shaquille O'Neal. Did he slow him down? Not really. Did he get bowled like 8 times on every possession? Yes, he did. Did he eat all those bowls and keep playing? Yes, he did. Dikembe Mutombo, ambassador, humanitarian, Hall of Famer, and just a leader for positive change in the NBA. Passing away today at the age of 58. Okay, folks. Also, you probably saw it was breaking news around 7:00. Pete Rose passed away at the age of 83. And this is one where, Pete Rose, he is the evidence, the stark and continual evidence that baseball means business when it comes to their traditions. Baseball means business. And so with Pete Rose, you feel for him not being inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. You check his numbers, all-time hits leader, 17-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champion, MVP, Rookie of the Year. The list goes on. When I said, he should be up there with the greats, the Willie Mazes, maybe that's an overstatement. Baseball people helped me pull that back. But doggone it, all-time hits leader, 3 championships, 17 All-Stars, MVP, Rookie of the Year, on and on. That's greatness. That's greatness, folks. Okay? And that's what was going to, kind of come out and be spoken on. But, you talk about Pete Rose after the gambling incident, and it's, banned from baseball. And that ban, lasted decades. and was definitive in his career. But again, you have to take it, acknowledge it, all that stuff. And I'm kind of as we get ready, but I just feel I never got to know, and I knew Pete Rose as the manager and the guy that bet on baseball and was banned. And was a great player way back when, but he bet on baseball, he was banned. That's the Pete Rose that I know. Okay? And that's unfortunate. Because the Pete Rose people of another generation know is him building all those accolades I spoke to and just at the pinnacle and at the height of the national pastime. Okay, that's my point with this. The younger people really never got to know that Pete Rose. The Pete Rose who got himself in trouble. Okay, and that's unfortunate. But two Hall of and see right. I want to say two Hall of Famers. You know what I mean, though. Two greats of their eras. Pete Rose and Dikembe Mutombo. Right? And so, so a little bit of a somber note to finish, but the bottom line, is, this question of legacy. It's a question of legacy and what you're building up and what you're kind of is going to go beyond. All right, and we're not going to go too deep down, that path, folks. As I've said, but it just, that's why sports, is a forum for the, experience of living, and it gives us perspectives, it gives us insights, that hopefully enrich and kind of make our life better. Okay, folks. So that is going to do it for us. I am your host, the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King. Thank you so much for tuning in to SandCity Sports. Shout out, as I said, to my man Jimmy Buff. We up in here. Okay, folks. Like, comment, subscribe, do what you do. Let me know what's good. Let me know what's not good. I want to hear all of it. I'm thrilled to be back with you. And as we like to say at these particular points in time, your boy will see you next time. Peace.